Actors, you have made it. Welcome to Screen Acting School. So go ahead, grab yourself a cup of coffee, open your heart, and today we're talking a little about love and get ready. Remember, this is not a TV show, it's a class, and it's not free. You are paying by showing up and doing the work. So we are so excited to see you subscribing to our YouTube channel, and we thank you so much for it. If you've already subscribed, we adore you. If you haven't yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button because magic is waiting and you can join us every week.
Should we get into the magic? Let's get
I
into the good stuff, shall we?
know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This week's lesson is not about how to audition for commercials. It is about how to book commercials. Yes,
Hmm.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Like Amber, who just booked one, and Leah, who's a booking machine, and Virginia, who's booked like we lost count. It's happening. And today we are going to show you exactly how. So if you've ever said, I hate slating, or do I look awkward right now? Or what is it? What do they even want from me? This class is for you. Anybody have that story? Lennon's still looking for auditions. This is going to make it easier and easier for you. Okay, here's what we're going to cover today. So everybody everybody play, and everybody pay close attention. If you're in Audition Plus, you're going to get full access to the commercial masterclass. It's one of your bonus classes. So after this class, go in and take a look at it. You need this. So 3 things you're going to learn. Let's get to what you're going to learn. One is how to slate like a pro without sounding like a robot. And I know that some of you do because I've heard it. So you need to make your slate warm and confident and totally bookable. That's audition. So number 2, how to handle the dreaded tell me about yourself story. And you want this to be an authentic story that actually connects with casting and production and anybody else who's watching it, including the casting director's dog, because they have a part in the casting department a lot of the time. So we also want to learn how to bring emotion into these short commercial scripts. We're going to work on emotional connection using love, which is the most important emotion, story, and your own personal truth. So even if you're selling granola or if it's dog food or whatever it is, you're going to come off real and relatable.
Yeah, absolutely. So who here wants to book a commercial? Hands up, or you can pop it in the chat. Yeah, I'm seeing hands up. Yeah, Becca's waving at me. Me. This one.
Me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So wonderful, you guys. And I saw Virginia waving away. And Virginia, we did lose count, but I think it's like 6 or 7, maybe it's 8. Yeah, 6, she's saying. I saw the thumb or the fingers there. 6 this year already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 this
Still
year.
wants to book it.
From some for us.
Of
I
course.
know it's true. It's true. So for those of you who are new here, I'm Casey. I'm your acting and audition coach. Most of the time, I am on a little farm in the woods with 100 chickens, 3 cats, 2 dogs, and assorted humans. I really love living where I love to live and doing what I love to do, which is help actors book grounded, fearless work. But right now, I'm in the big smoke. I'm here with Donna-Marie in North Vancouver.
Yeah, and we are so excited to have you here and so excited to see all of you wonderful actors for this incredible workshop this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We have some great stuff.
We
And
do.
for those of you that don't know, and those of you that are new here, I do see some new faces. I'm Donna-Marie. I'm your mindset and visualization coach here at Screen Acting School. So I do live in the big city because, well, I love people, a lot of action, really great coffee, and helping actors believe in themselves so strongly that casting starts to believe too. And I just saw Kara nod, and you know what? We've seen that with you, Kara. We coach actors who walk the red carpet for the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the Emmys. They book life-changing roles in the #1 shows in the world. So we do come with receipts. And now we're here for you too.
Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. With a commercial, you're looking at a 15 to 30 second mini movie. that make sense? And in this movie, if you think about it this way, it's so much more fun to do. And the directors of commercials are oftentimes, and Virginia can attest to this because she was on set with a director that this happened to. They're oftentimes directors of really big movies, like feature films. And Virginia told us a story about being on set with a director on a commercial who got the call that he was nominated for an Oscar on the commercial. So you get to work with really great directors. And when you're doing that, you're the story.
Mhm.
Every single second is creating a relationship with the people who are watching this commercial and with the brand. So you can be in that commercial over and over and over, commercials for that brand over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. And brands like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, all of these big
Yeah.
brands, they're using those big time directors, right? So it really is great to brush shoulders with them, get to know them. It matters, it makes a difference. So now casting directors want to feel something, okay? You need to remember this. That's how Ryan from Audition Plus has booked so many commercials. He didn't go big, he went real. He went into that feeling.
So true. Well, sometimes he did go big because remember that commercial where he's eating the cake? It's
Yeah.
like cake is everywhere. Sometimes you do. There are rules and then there's the way to break the rules. And that's what we coach you with. But I want to now break you down, not you, but the commercial.
Yeah.
So, just really quick, the first thing you want to think about, and everybody who wants to book commercials and everybody who has and wants to do more, listen up. This is the big one. What is the problem? What is the problem in the commercial? So you're reading the commercial and you're thinking, what's the problem? So the problem for a car commercial, let's say it's a commercial for SUVs, what's the problem? So if you're like 35-year-old woman auditioning for this, or a 35-year-old man, 35 to 45-year-old man auditioning for this, or a kid, the problem is I want to take my kids on an adventure, but I want them to be safe. That's the problem. I
Yeah.
want them to be safe. And the product fixes it. Yes, it's something the product can fix. You got it. That's why she booked 6 commercials this year. And she just booked something else. So, what is the solution? The solution is I buy an SUV because a minivan doesn't quite cut it on the open road. So, I need something that's going to be safe for my kids, and I need something that's going to be fun so that we can go out on the open road and we can drive into some sort of, you know, camping spot and I'll have the time of our lives and memories that last forever. So that's what it's all about. But then you got to look at the tone. So, what is the tone of the commercial? Because each commercial has a different tone, and that tone relates to the audience for that commercial, right? So, the tone for a guy buying one of these vehicles who's like a guy is going to be like ram tough kind of thing. But this tone isn't not at all. This is maybe a conversation with your best friend, or maybe it's a conversation about health and wellness, like getting out into nature, that kind of thing, or it's a comedic story about how you survived going on the road with with your kids, with 3 kids in the back of the car. So that's the tone, and that's how you can make sure that you're the one who books, because you know the tone. And oftentimes people don't think about the tone,
Hmm.
that this could be comedic moments and they're going in with all this depth. So does anyone want to give it a try? Does
Yeah.
anyone want to do it?
Kara had her hand up. Yeah.
Yeah, yay. Okay, I can't see anything on this computer, so um, let's, Donna-Marie, if you could check on who wants to do it.
Absolutely, 100%. So Kara put her hand up first. That's what I saw. So I'm going to go with Kara.
Yay.
So, and Casey, I'll let you explain what Kara's going to do.
Sure. So Kara, I've just popped the line in.
Okay.
You see that? Yay. Okay, I can hear you. I want to take my kids on adventures and get back safe. This is something you could easily book, Kara.
Mhm.
So the first way I want you to do this is to a friend.
I wanted to take my kids on an adventure and get back safe.
Great. And now I want you to do it as if it's a health and wellness thing, like you want to take them out and get some exercise.
I wanted to take my kids on an adventure and get back safe.
Great. Can I get you to push the word adventure, make that the operative word?
Okay. I wanted to take my kids on adventures and get back safe.
Good. Good. Excellent. And now it's comedic, like what it's like to have, 3 kids in the back of the car and they're going crazy.
I wanted to take my kids on adventures and get back safe.
Good. So thank you so much, Kara. That was
That was
excellent.
great. That was
The
great.
hand thing, I don't know why I did that, but I feel like that'd be bad because I'm blocking my face.
Ooh, apparently there's an alarm where Casey is.
I don't know. It's outside. I don't know what's going on. Okay.
It's a
Yay.
live show, guys, and these things happen when you're traveling to teach. Kara, I thought it was wonderful. I loved your choices. I'm obviously not the acting coach, so I'm gonna let Casey go in there, but I thought it
Oh,
was
I think you did an excellent job. Yeah, as everybody's saying, good job. Which one for you, Kara, felt like something that you would feel comfortable with, that you would feel was your most bookable role?
I think the first one, because I've done a lot of practice sort of in the talking to a best friend kind of space, because a lot of commercials are kind of like that, and also like hallmarks. And, so I've got maybe more familiarity with that. I can do comedy, but when I do comedy, it tends to be much more like in a situation and like a little bit drier. So it's not as, this is more of a stand-up comedy kind of thing. So that one didn't really resonate with me as well. So I think definitely the first one was probably where I felt like the most comfortable.
So that's your wheelhouse, and that's the one that you just go, okay, I'm golden there. I know what I'm doing. The other two you should practice. But you know what? I felt like the comedy thing, you surprised me. I
me
like,
too.
yeah, I liked the where you placed the comedy. I thought it was really well done because the get back safe, it makes that less poignant and less worrisome and more like, oh my God, my kids are crazy people.
Yeah,
So
like,
it
am I
was
gonna
really,
get
really
back safe
nicely done.
here? I thought it
Yeah.
was really good too. I would love to open it up to the rest of the group and ask what they thought was the most bookable, and maybe ask them to pop that in the chat. Casey, what do you think about that?
Well, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Malcolm just did that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so people are liking the comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You like
yeah.
the crazy kids?
I
Yeah.
felt like it brought me into that moment. And, I always say, well, I'm not the acting coach. And Casey says, but you're the audience and you know how it made you feel. And I felt it brought me into that moment where I was like, I could picture driving up to the mountains with kids in the back, the back seat, Mariana and her friends, and what that was like. And they're screaming, and you're like, oh my gosh. And it took me in there, right? So, yeah, I really liked that.
Yeah, and what you're seeing, Kara, is your perception and the audience's perception is different. And
Hmm.
this is a great lesson for everyone,
Hmm.
for everyone. Yeah, and take two for Brian was the best. Oh, here's
And we're
Gloria.
having a little bit of comedy right now.
We are. I don't know what's going on. Oh, well.
This is what
Uh,
happens when you stay in
Apparently,
Airbnb.
they're doing some construction here. So I got to this Airbnb today and or yesterday, and I found out that today I'm not having any water because they're shutting the water down. So there's all sorts of crazy things going on.
Yeah, and Casey took it like a trooper because I was like, I would have died. I would not survive that. You all, well, I think the majority of you know me. If I woke up and there was no water, and Casey's like, meh, I live on a farm. I'll just boil some water tonight and get it ready for tomorrow and do all this. I was like, I'd be asking for my money back, but good for you. So she dealt with it, but it should be back on later today.
It's on now. So I just didn't have it for 4 hours. It was fine.
Wonderful.
Kara's performance set up the fire alarm. Oh my God, Beth, you're
Yeah,
hilarious.
totally, Beth. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit. So we've looked at the performances, looked at the tone, and doing those lines a few different ways so you guys understand how the tone can change
Mhm.
things. Because it really does, right? From the first take to the last take, very different, different ideas, different visions in your head when you're thinking about this, right?
Donna-Marie, before we get into it, can I just mention something? Because it just occurred to me, and I didn't think about it when we were making the lesson. Whoa. You know how you get that was just like a very Fonzie whoa, like whoa. You know how you get asked to give two different colors? That's how you do it. You change the tone. And so often people really they send the same tape. They don't do two different colors. Provide two options. Yes, example. Thank you, Kara. All right. So
Yes. Now, I also want to talk a little bit about your setup, okay? Because this should support your acting, not stress you out. So, especially when you're starting out, you're looking to book commercials or, this is something new for you. You need to get pro here right away. You need a pro setup because that equals a pro mindset, okay? So, your framing, it should be medium close up, top of the head to just below your shoulders, something
yeah.
similar to what you're seeing with me right now, okay? That should be your framing. All too often, we see this or this, when half my head's cut off. You need to have the correct framing to be pro. So important. And then mark your floor, stay consistent, right? So this might take a few little goes for you, but understand, okay, when I stand here, my framing is good. And then mark that. Okay, so, so important. And then your eye line. So your eye line should be just off camera unless you're slating, of course, then you want to be talking to the casting directors. So those are all really important things to consider. Another thing is props. Do not use them unless asked, and they will ask. So I'm going to ask because we have had a lot of commercial bookers who are here right now. Has anyone here ever been asked to use props? Virginia has. Okay. Yeah. Kara, I see you nodding, I think. Yeah. So if they want you to, they will ask. Brian saying absolutely. Noelle says yes. 100%. If you don't see it on there, do not use a prop. It's distracting, like more than you would imagine. When you're watching auditions, and Casey watch a lot, and I watch a lot of self-tapes, often I hear paper rustling in the background. You you can do all of that under the frame without needing to hold that paper because it's distracting. It makes you want to turn it off. So really, really important, okay? And then you want your tripod, your backdrop, your lights, your ring light, whatever that is. So show of hands, and you guys, this doesn't have to be super expensive. These are all things you can get on Amazon. I think we even have links to um, different ones so you can see what we're talking about. Not that we endorse any of them, we're not getting paid for it, but just so you have an idea of what it looks like. So I want to see a show of hands who has their setup ready. So when that audition comes in, you are ready, good to go. You don't have to stress. Yeah, yeah, that's about turning pro right away. Awesome, you guys. And it's so important because, as you all know, with auditions, there is not a lot of time. Okay, there's not a lot of time. You get that audition, it may be due the next morning. Maybe you've got 2 days if you're lucky, and you've got to create that work, create that little jewel of a self-tape to send into them, right? And then if you're worrying about getting a setup and, throwing a blue screen up and doing this and doing that, and you're not familiar, it is so, so difficult. I saw Landon said, I don't have a lot of money. You don't need a ton of money for a great setup, Landon. Just, even if you don't have, let's say, a ring light or something, you can maybe you set up a stack of books and you know how to set your camera up perfectly so that your floor is marked and you know how it's going to frame you perfectly. So this doesn't take a lot of money. It's about being pro and about being prepped. And the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is space, because I can't tell you how much I hear, but Donna-Marie,
All the time.
don't have enough space to tape an audition. I can't, it's very difficult for me. I will tell you, in my daughter's room, there is about this much space. She can barely, fit her legs and then maybe a little bit more in that space where she auditions, and it works perfectly. So all this takes is practice and prep so that you know how to use that space. Okay. So don't be discouraged if you don't have a ton of space. That is a-okay. Kara's saying Mariana's setup is very clear. Yeah. And Kara's actually been here and seen it. So Kara understands the space constraints, right? So yeah, absolutely.
And I want to address the what Landon's saying and a couple of people are saying. You don't need to spend any money at all. You just need your camera and have it set up so that you have a frame like this and make sure there's nothing behind you. So if it's optimum to have a blue background, but if you don't, have a clear background. Just clean everything up and shoot there. There is nothing stopping you at all. And when you say things like I'm broke, don't say that. Say I'm going to go get myself a job and make some money.
And
You
if
know,
you get a phone, if you're here on Zoom now, you've got everything that you need
or
to.
even a computer. You can do it
Yeah.
on Zoom. Yeah. So you can do it. You absolutely can.
Loved Casey. I'm going to jump in real quick. I know we're going to go over here, you guys. Sorry, we always do. But Virginia mentioned monitor the natural light in your house when the best time is to do your
So
self-tape.
true.
Yeah. If you can't afford proper lighting, look at that. You know, where's great? Where's the light coming in? Okay, if I stand this way, I'm backlit and I look dark. So maybe I'm going to turn the camera the other way. That's optimal for me doing my auditions. And I can tell you, because I'm very into plants, as I know Daniel is too, because we've had this discussion. I know that in the morning from about 6 a.m. till 10:30, I get really good sun on my patio because I monitored it. And then it comes back from about 3:30 till 6:30. So I move my plants around the patio every day accordingly. So to make sure they're getting the optimal amount of sun or shade that they need. This only takes a few days to figure out. So you can do the exact same thing for your self-tape. So I loved that point, Virginia. Really, really good one.
Me too. It's just it's using your imagination to make the best of things. It absolutely is. And get determined. If you haven't got a job or you haven't got an agent or you haven't got whatever it is, get determined. This is the one thing that you're doing and you do it every day until you get it. That's the most important thing. So I want to tell you a little story about my neighbor Karma. When I moved to Powell River a little while ago, a few years back, she heard about me and she was a neighbor. She came to me for coaching and advice. And I was like, this is weird. I didn't think that would happen. But she heard what I do. So I helped her set up. She had this is a woman in her 50s. She had not acted before. She was not an actor. She'd done some little theater, but she was not an actor. So we got her a ring light, an agent, a backdrop, and then 2 weeks later, she booked a commercial in Argentina that paid a lot. Let's just say they renovated their house. She felt really, really confident in her work. And one of the reasons that we even created the commercial masterclass was talking about this. Like, if actors only knew, so many of the things Donna-Marie and I do starts with if actors only knew, and then we build the class around it.
Yeah.
So knowing this helps you right away, helps you change right away. Have a good setup, understand what commercials mean, and you will book.
Yeah. And guess what? It's kind of fun, figuring
Yeah.
all that stuff, setting it up. If this is what you love, it's fun, right? So I want to dive a little bit, because I know we're going over, into talking about the right emotions for commercials. Okay. So almost every time that you get a commercial audition, you're going to know that the right emotion is love, right? Casey's talked about that. We've talked about that over and over and over. Even if you're selling toothpaste, like love is literally the emotional entry point always. So here's what I want to ask you to do now. I want you to close your eyes for just a second, okay? It won't take long. And I want you to think about something that you love. So think about your pet, your best friend, your morning coffee, that moment that makes you light up. That's what we want you to feel through the screen. That's what we want you to bring to commercials. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, did you feel that? And that was so quick, right? So go ahead, pop it in the chat. What is something that you love? And then I want you to connect that feeling to the product. Okay. So in this case, it's the SUV in our little, example today, right? So beautiful. Becca says, I love all of those things. Noelle says, my cat. Taylor says, my horse. Christopher says, comic books. Yeah, that feeling that you get, right? When you open that crisp comic, Christopher, and you're in a different world. Yeah. Mel says, I love the smell of summer. Me too.
Mm.
I went on my balcony the other day and they had just cut the grass and everything was fresh and it was so beautiful. The warmth of the earth as the sun sets. Absolutely, Mel. Malcolm says, laughing at random jokes. Yeah, that moment with your friends when you just have that belly laugh or you're laughing so hard you cry. Kara says, my dog and having car rides with your dog. Yeah, I saw as soon as I mentioned puppies, I saw your face light up. Noelle says, I love you guys. Oh, well, thank you, Noelle.
Oh, we love you back. Oh, Noelle, I have something for you. I don't want to forget. I found a thing that nurses or doctors wear. I forget what it's called, and I thought of you, so I brought it for you, just in case you have to play a nurse or doctor.
And Ryan says, your favorite melody. Yeah, when you hear that song and it's just like,
Mm.
I love that. So, so beautiful. So you guys get this, right? You understand. So here's what we do. We teach everyone to use this technique, right? To bring love into your audition. And when you do that, bam, you book, right? That is it.
Absolutely.
So I know we've got a few big time commercial bookers who are here today with us. So who here has used love for their commercial auditions? I want to see a show of hands. Yeah, Virginia's saying yeah all the time. Noelle, uh-huh. Kara, yeah. Yeah. It matters and it makes all the difference.
Beth says her relationship with her mom, which just made me go all melty.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And humor, yeah, absolutely. Well, Kara, you're going to be doing that now since you saw it work so well. It's
One.
funny that you say that, Noelle, about this slate because your slate is your audition before your audition, and we want people to like you immediately. So just be warm in your slate. Just warm that right up. Like, hey, I'm Casey. Smile, add some warmth.
Yeah,
That's the word.
absolutely. And we actually just did something for you guys. So, well, we put my daughter to work. So, we just had Mariana record some examples of slates for you, bringing in that warmth and also bringing in the different archetypes, okay? Depending on what she was auditioning for. So, we're going to attach them to the end of this video in YouTube. So, you can come back here when you see it in YouTube. Now, give me about an hour because these things take time to edit. But you can come back. I'm going to attach that to the end, and you can take a look at that and see what that looks like, bringing in the warmth and the different archetypes. So it'll give you an idea of how to do this really, really well.
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll see the flavor is so different for each slate, and it really brings something to the role. So there are different types of slate, different kinds of slates. There's the standard where you just say your name, and if it's your age, if you're a minor, you say your age, or you say your height and give profiles, fun facts, allergies, that kind of thing, or the name of the role. And then there's the dreaded "tell me about yourself" audition. It's the
Mhm.
big one.
And this moment freaks people out, but you guys, it's gold. Right? If you prep this beforehand, because most people don't, it is your chance to shine. It is your chance to let them see you, not perform, but just connect. And in fact,
Mhm.
a couple of days ago, so Thursday, Mariana just got an audition for a lead role in a feature, and they didn't want to see any lines. Zero lines. There was no script, none of that. What they wanted was to start by hearing about the actor and getting to know their vibe. That's all they wanted for this first round of auditions. So she went to the tell me about yourself story, right? She had that prepped, so it was easy to do. If you don't have that prepped, it's stressful.
Yeah. And there is a bit of a formula for the tell me about yourself story. And essentially, the first thing you need to know is never, ever, 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 ever say that you're an actor. They don't care. They already know that. And telling them that bores them. It's like they're going to look at their watch and they're going to say it's time to go. So start with a challenge, something that has challenged you in your life. Then have what you learned from it. Then have what makes you you. So whether it's your humor or whether it's your depth or whatever it is, use that. And then use your senses to create the world so that the casting directors could feel it in their mind. You learn how to do this in Audition Plus with Donna-Marie when you do the sensory work. Well, if you say that in your story, like when Donna-Marie said, I could smell the cut grass, you know that smell of cut grass. So if you start your story saying, I smelled the cut grass, they're there. So a good question to ask yourself is, when did something surprising happen to you? Say something where you were courageous or whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can think of something that you would love, a story that's popping into your mind right now that you're thinking, I can base my dreaded tell me about yourself story off this, go ahead and pop it in the chat. I would love to hear them and love to have you guys share that, right?
So how long should it be? That's a great question. The best question, actually, because it should be short. So it should be 30 to 90 seconds, really short. Leave them wanting more.
AC, I know we're going over, but what if we picked even one or two people, if someone has something that they think is a good idea, to go ahead and share?
Sure.
What do you think? Do we have time? All right. Does anyone have something that's popping into their mind? Michael says, I had reconstructive jaw surgery in high school. You want to give it a go, Michael? Tell us about yourself. Let's hear it. I'm mute.
Yeah, so my first surgery, there was a bit of bone that was sticking out, so that got sawed off, and that was day surgery. But then I also had to get braces, and my teeth were like that, and I thought that was normal. And then I was told that no, I have to get another surgery where my teeth get moved forward. But before that happened, I had four wisdom teeth that were impacted, so that had to come out. And yeah, so when I went for the second surgery, that was overnight. I was in intensive care, and my healing process, I was just like swollen like a pumpkin. I was eating out of a straw. And on top of that, I was just about to do a play, and I was able to,
Did you say play?
yes, I was in a play in
Cut it.
high school. Oh,
Cut it.
right, because that, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my story.
So what that story needs structure. So it's an interesting story, but it was this happened, this happened, this happened. So you need to start with the challenge. So
Okay.
turn the play, you're allowed to have artistic license. Turn the play into a date. So I was, I was about to have my first date ever. And then the pumpkin thing is really good. So I was swollen like a pumpkin. So you don't have to tell it in order. You can say I was swollen like a pumpkin and about to go on my first date ever, and then tell the story, and then tell what you learned about yourself. So I learned that
I was
if
more
someone wants to
courageous
kiss
than
me,
I
they'll
thought I
wait.
was.
Sorry?
I was more courageous than I thought I was.
But tell it with a little bit of humor or with a little bit of detail. Like I was suggesting you say something like, I learned that if someone wants to kiss me, they'll wait for a while if it hurts or whatever. Like
Okay.
find a way to create a story out of it. Does
Mhm.
the tell me, yeah. So Brian is saying, does the tell me about yourself story have to be factual? It should be factual, but you can embellish and change things up. You want to tell a good story. So it's not really necessary that, so all stories are lies. Every single story you ever tell is a lie because somebody else is seeing it from a different point of view. you have a different perspective as you age and grow. So when you're young and this happens to you, you think this is what happened. And then when you look back, you think, oh my God, no, that's not what happened, because I see that I have a different perspective on it. So you can change it up. You can play with it a little, and just know that all stories, this is something that's helped me in my life in writing stories, is knowing and having relationships with people, is all stories are lies, because you don't really know what happened. You only know your perspective from your bias with your opinions, all that kind of stuff. So start playing.
Yeah, and that was really great. Thank you for that, Michael. And thank you,
Yes.
Casey. And I hope that gave you an idea. And I hope it gave all of you an idea about how you can take that story, that the story you have in your mind, and restructure it a little bit to make it great and make it castable for when you have these moments like this. So come back and watch this. Watch the way Casey just coached Michael through that. It was super quick, right? And when you leave here today, you're going to forget it. I guarantee you. The same things is the same day you forget them. Remember that. So that's why repetition is so important. So come back, rewatch this, be like, oh yeah, Casey tweaked it a little this way. Oh yeah, she said to start here, maybe in the middle instead of at the beginning, because it made it a bit more interesting. That sort of a thing. So come back and re-watch this.
Oh, I'm so glad you love this class. So something that everyone should keep in their minds is that you are all one audition away from a life-changing booking.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
ask Joe. He just booked that big billboard gig. Looking at that, we were so happy and so proud of you, Joe. And Regina and Kara and Gavin and Lily and Leah and Virginia and Alana and everyone who's booking these commercials.
Yeah, it's just incredible. We're so proud of each and every one of you. And the moment that gets you there, you guys, it's the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's your setup, it's your story, it's your love for what you do. It's having all of these pieces put together and being ready.
So, Rebecca and everybody else, if you liked this, I know Rebecca said she really loved this class, and I'm really glad. And if Rebecca, you're already in Audition Plus, so you can just go get the commercial master class and do it. It's a bonus class in Audition Plus. It's worth $597. That's what we charged to do it when we sold it on its own. And you get it totally free in Audition Plus, so you should be doing it. And we're walking you through the slates, the self-tapes, the storytelling, and how to show up like a pro every single time. And even though it is about commercials, it does translate into other work.
Yeah, 100%. Now, we have gone over as always, but I do want to say we've absolutely loved spending this afternoon with you. We are so pleased to tell you that enrollment for Audition Plus is now open. So, if you want to be sitting in a room with your friends and your fam and, your commercial pops on just like Virginia has been and everyone's screaming in excitement, right? If you're serious about making acting your career and you really want to dive into this work and take the steps that are really going to help you move forward, then Audition Plus is for you. And we would love to welcome you inside this very incredible, very special community. So I'm going to pop the link in for you so you guys can go ahead, copy and paste that because we're about to wrap. Now, I do need you to know that once you register for Audition Plus, you will be guided to a form where you can let us know who you are and we can determine how we can coach you. It is so important that you fill out this form because coaching actors is not a one size fits all, and we need to know who you are. And please know, we are only interested in working with actors who are committed and passionate about moving their craft and their career forward.
And you have to be a good person. No exceptions. So let us know about your goals and dreams in the application.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing lots of posts here saying, I'm so excited. There are a bunch of Audition Plus members coming down for a workshop this weekend. Ryan sending hearts. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, everyone's excited and pumped to be a part and get to see their friends in the community. And it's really, really cool. So here is the beautiful truth, as Casey said earlier, and I'm going to repeat it. You are only one audition away from a life-changing role. So let's make sure that everyone in the room remembers you, okay? So here's that application link once again. And then Casey, I think I'm going to say that is a wrap for us. So if you want it, go ahead and copy and paste right now. Wonderful.
All right. That's a wrap for us. I guess we'll see you on screen.
We'll see you on screen. And for a lot of you, we will see you in person this weekend. Mwah. Have a great day,
You're
everyone.
so
You're so
welcome.
welcome, everyone. Bye.
Bye.